Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Trailer Park. And I'm actually here this week, which is good because I don't want to be where I was last week, that's for sure. But you know what? Morgan did a fantastic job, so kudos to you. I know it was kind of last minute. I was like, oh, hi, guess what? You're running the show tonight, so good job.
I try not to panic too much.
Yeah,
I was just like clicking buttons and I was like, what's going on?
You were fine. You were fine. And, you know, Tracy and Beth did a good job of keeping everything together and keeping photo in line, which, you know, isn't always easy. So, yeah, it was a good night for you guys anyway, not so much for me. I was battling some kind of stomach bug that's actually had me not so great most of this week, but I seem to be on the mend. So everybody, knock on wood, you know, whatever weird ass thing you might do to pretend that there's luck out there. So of course Morgan joins us from the old state of Mississippi. How's it going down there?
It's hot as usual, as it is in the summer. It's hot and humid, but I'm trying to enjoy my summer. So all the students are gone, and the great thing about living in a college town is that when they're gone, you basically have the whole town to yourself.
This is good.
I've been enjoying that.
I'm chuckling at the summer comment because it's 13 degrees Celsius right now. That's still hoodie and jeans weather. And our guest this evening at those temperatures might actually want to put a coat on. All the way from down under, but lately LA.
Hi. Via sunny Los Angeles.
Oh, that LA sun.
Yeah. It's nice weather and it's warm.
I want it to be warm. I'm so sick of winter. Now, Shelley, have you ever seen snow?
I have seen snow. The first time I've been to like Mount Buller in Victoria, which is like an hour and a half from where I live, or a little bit more, and it's where I grew up in Australia. And like I would see snow on the mountains, like you drive up the mountain, you see the snow, but I never actually saw snow falling until I was in New York for the first time. And first I thought there was like ash falling from the sky. Like I thought someone was ashing on me. I was like, what a dick, who's ashing on me? And I like, wait, this is too much ash. And then I realized like, oh, this is snow. And it was so cold. And I remember like that I felt this thing on my ear. I thought maybe it was a bug. And I could just feel it on my head. And I was like pulling it, trying to get it off my head. And then I realized it was my ear. And it was just so cold that like my ear had almost frozen and I didn't know what it felt like for my ear to even be that cold. It was numb. So it's like, what is that? Get it off. But yeah, so LA definitely suits me better.
Yeah, I have the running joke that I'm the world's shittiest Canadian because I hate I hate a bunch of other Canadian things like hockey, but I really, really hate winter. But my husband loves it here, so I don't think I'll be moving anytime soon. But I would love to go somewhere warmer for sure. So imagine what you felt for, let's see, November, December, January, February, March, April, 6 months.
Nah, no way. I keep warm by complaining about the cold. I would just be miserable.
That would work. Or snuggle it up to somebody, I suppose.
Or snuggles, yes. Snuggles is good.
Yes, snuggles. Well, that's good because you just recently moved to the U.S. on a semi-permanent basis. So how's that experience been so far?
It's been really interesting. I moved here in June last year. So I came over for the Reason Rally, and I went straight to DC. I performed there and came back to LA and didn't go home. So that was the end of.
Is that Rob in the kitchen?
That is Rob in the kitchen.
Tell him to shut up.
Hey Rob, Deb says shut up.
Too damn loud.
He told me to get in the other room.
He's outnumbered 3 chicks to 1. Sorry. I was there at Reason Rally. Saw you in your lovely rainbow sequin top. It's so pretty.
Thanks. Yeah. That was a really cool way, to start my time here in the US with the Reason Rally. So that was cool. And yeah, now I've been here like almost 10 months. And it feels like
a fun story at the Reason Rally there. You probably remember I was sitting on a park bench in the park, just fiddling with my stuff because I actually kind of lost track of Bobby and Ashley and a bunch of other people. And I'd just been wandering around by myself for a couple hours. And I saw the space on the bench because I was hot and tired and I wanted to shuffle my things around. So I sat down and I remember thinking, the guy next to me kind of looks like Phil Ferguson. And then I went back to whatever it was I was doing. And then I got hug bombed by Miss Shelley and her sparkling wonderfulness. It was like out of the blue. I was like, oh, hi, Shelley. And then I turned around. I was like, damn, that is Phil Ferguson. Hi, Phil. In the middle of the capital of a foreign country with thousands of people around. I'm just like, oh, hi.
It was so fun. It was so fun. Like, that was a big difference for me between the first Reason Rally and the second Reason Rally, because the first Reason Rally, I think, was my first show in the US ever. And
right.
I didn't know anyone. Like, I just met, the people from American Atheists and Dan and Annie Laurie from FFRF. And, I'd done they had a show the night before. But then, I didn't know anyone. Whereas this time, I knew everyone, and I was just running around in the car like,
I know.
It was so fun. It was really nice because a lot of group organizers over the last 4 years, I've slept on their couch and stayed at their place and performed for their organization. So that was really nice. It just felt like hanging out with friends in the park.
Absolutely. Well, how did they find you the first time around? Because, I mean, like you said, if that was your first performance in North America, somebody must have heard of you before then.
Yeah, well, I had just released my first single and video clip. Oh my God, there's a plane. So we're in downtown LA and it's just constant noise. I'm sorry. There's an ice cream truck that comes very soon as well. It's like I've got a home studio here. We try and record, and it's like, what time is the ice cream truck coming? And then there's mariachi music, and there are church groups in the building that have sing-alongs, and so yeah, it's exciting.
My
you never know.
husband will normally ask me, what time is your show? So he knows to turn all the power tools off in the basement.
But yeah, so I had just released my first single, Saved, and I think that started to get a bit of traction here in the US, and quite a few people I remember reached out and got in touch, and also recommended me to the Reason Rally organizers. And so Dave Silverman got in touch initially. That was so exciting. I was really excited. But I know Darryl Ray from Recovering from Religion, and Aaron Ra, and James Stillwell. Quite a few people really, recommended me. So I'm really grateful to them for putting me in touch with the movement over here.
Well, we're really glad they did, because I unfortunately I didn't even know about the First Reason rally, or I would have gone for sure. But even hearing about it later and seeing some of the video and whatnot, it was pretty exciting. And I can imagine how thrilling it was to be a part of all of that the first time and the second time even.
Yeah, it was really cool.
For sure.
So we're gonna have. Will we get some power tools during the show?
No, I think he actually went for a nap. He got up pretty early today, and then he had to go, and one of our cats had some dental surgery, and he had to go pick her up from the vet. It's kind of cool. She came home. She actually has like a fentanyl patch on her tail.
A what?
Like it's like a high dose painkiller. The vet
stick it on her tail.
She's got a fentanyl patch on her tail, like shaved it off and stuck. It's like one of those timed release deals. So yeah, it's kind of funny, but she's fine. She had some bad teeth that had to come out, but so he's been busy with that today. And as I say, I've still been not exactly myself, so I've been taking it pretty easy. But he might, if we're lucky, maybe we'll hear the air compressor or something later. I mean, it was a 2-hour show. Man, so you were raised Jewish.
Yes.
And I love your story because you got into music by being a Jewish wedding singer with your dad.
Yep. I saw the Adam Sandler movie, The Wedding Singer, when I was 12, and I was like, they're really cool. It's cool what we do.
Absolutely. And you said, doing bar mitzvahs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it was fun. Like, the first time I got up with my dad's function band, I was 11. And I just, I do like one song or two songs, kind of like a little special feature guest, which was really great for me. It was a great opportunity to get that experience performing from such a young age. And as I got older, I would, do more of the set until I was like maybe 15, 16, and I was doing the whole night myself and all the vocals. And one woman wedding band, no. And yeah, it was cool because I would play at bar mitzvahs of the kids that I went to school with, and we played at weddings and anniversaries, and it was really nice. I knew because my dad had been playing. The Jewish community was a really big part of our life and our work, and I went to Jewish day school, and I would play at the bar mitzvahs of kids that I went to school with, and my dad we'd be playing a bar mitzvah of someone that he'd played at the parents' wedding, and it was just really it was really nice and really cute, and I really enjoyed it. Like I loved that celebration, and it really, I guess, really it informed a lot of my approach to music, and seeing music as growing up with working musicians and seeing music as entertainment, and I like pop music. I think I'm a folk musician. Like my music that I write is folk, but at the same time I love pop music because I grew up singing at weddings, doing I Will Survive and Kylie Minogue and Robbie Williams and all this stuff. It was from 90s, well not 90s, like late 90s to now. And so I love pop music because I see how happy it makes people.
Man, you should have been around in the 80s. We had the best music in the 80s.
I totally miss the 80s. I don't, I guess there's a couple 80s songs that we would do, but yeah, that wasn't. It was like the older crowds, you play for the parents, so old stuff, and then the young stuff. So I didn't really grow up with much 80s.
I'm picking up by the fact that she's making me really old right now. Yeah, we used to play the 80s stuff for the parents.
No, now we play like 70s, 60s stuff.
Yeah, okay. But what
Playing Elvis.
Yes, I do. This with me and my dad do Can't Help Falling in Love Together. He plays the violin. It's cute. It's cute.
I got to meet your parents at the Reason. In fact, I bought this shirt from your mother.
That's so cool. Yeah, they came with me to the Reason Rally. Actually, my dad performed with me at the Reason Rally, which I'm so proud of him. And I announced it from the stage. I was like, "This is my dad. He's the president of an Orthodox synagogue in Melbourne, Australia, and here he is, at a secular rally." And everyone was like, "Woo." And there were so many ex-Jews at the rally. They all came up to him afterwards. They're like, "Good Shabbos, good Shabbos." It was funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's fine with, I guess, you performing for these atheist events and things like that?
Absolutely. I think, at first the whole atheist thing was really divisive in my family, and it was pretty stressful initially, but that was, almost 10 years ago now. So we've come a long way. And it's definitely very supportive of it and was happy to be part of it. I think it might be easier for Jews to understand the value of secularism. Maybe not atheism, but secularism, absolutely, because, when you're a minority religion, you understand why the dominant religion shouldn't be able to control everything.
Absolutely. And the truth of the matter is, a secular government is the only way that you really get freedom of religion. Mm-hmm. Because the government says, everybody just do your own thing. We're not going to say one way is better than any other. And, and the government has no interest in who believes what or how. So that's good. That's good. Now, one thing about, I love about your performances is you're not just a singer, but you're a storyteller. And you love to tell stories with your music. And one of the stories that I've heard you tell is because you're talking about getting that opportunity to get out there and sing with your dad and be heard and get that exposure. But really, like you've said a few times, a woman wasn't supposed to even sing unaccompanied.
Yeah, I guess, there's so many areas there are these stark contradictions. So yeah, my introduction to music was as a singing in a Jewish setting. I also actually went with my dad. We would go to aged care facilities, Jewish aged care facilities, and we would perform old Hebrew songs, and so I got some practice that way. But yeah, I mean, traditionally, especially in the Orthodox setting, a woman is not allowed to sing unaccompanied because it's too arousing. So even though I could sing, and it is very arousing, I know.
Well, it is. Yeah,
everyone needs to relieve themselves when I start singing. It would just cause so much problems. But
but a bunch of dudes at a female a cappella concert, having to run out back at the end.
Oh my gosh.
That's it. It's rough. Like it's like you need to control yourself rather than just silence me. But even at the functions, there were certain kind of norms at the Jewish functions. There were norms that everyone adhered to. So if there were more religious people, they would tend to leave, or rabbis, they would tend to leave around 9 o'clock, 9:30. And so up until that point, there would just be Jewish music and sometimes separated dancing, where the men and women would dance separately, depending on the level of observance of the family. And I wasn't allowed to sing until those people went home. Once I started too early, and the rabbi was still there, and I had to get off the stage. It's like, quick, get off the stage. But then, after 9:30, then the mixed dancing, and it's all
right.
I guess that's the way that a small community with people of different sects of Judaism, different levels of observance, are able to function together. So, you know, aside from all of the issues that I take with things, I think it's cool that they are able to function that way and be inclusive. But and then at synagogue, so we went to synagogue every week, I just wasn't allowed to sing. Well, I'm allowed to sing in the you know, the congregation's part, but as a woman, you're not allowed to lead the congregation, and that's the biggest honor, really, in the synagogue. The whole service revolves around reading from the Torah. They pull out these Old Testament scrolls every week, and they read a portion, and someone, you know, different people in the community will be called up either on their bar mitzvah to read from the first time and lead the congregation, or on the anniversary of their bar mitzvah. They also get called up to lead certain prayers. My brother and my father would get up to perform this one particular song together, and on different holy days. And so it's a real honor to be called up and to participate in this, and to dress the Torah, to put the, you know, its clothes back on. It's you know, it's beautiful, decorative crowns and coverings, and to take the Torah around to the rest of the congregation so people can touch it and kiss it, and it's you know, it's all revolved around that, and I was not allowed to participate in those things, so I couldn't have these honors. And you know, when I was very devout, that really bothered me. It upset me because, you know, I thought I had a relationship with God, and you know, I'm a performer and a singer, and I would have loved to have been involved in those elements of our worship. And actually, I kind of say now, I'm really glad that I was in an Orthodox synagogue, because I think if I was raised with a more Reformed Judaism, I'd probably be a rabbi by now. I'm glad I got the more extreme end.
This is true. Well, and one of your most iconic songs actually comes from having to deal with that and not being allowed to do those things, and that would be Eve. And would you start us off by singing that one for us?
Absolutely. It's early in the morning, but no. Well, it's not early. It's early for my voice.
I understand.
But I'm ready to go. All right. Yeah, so this song is called Eve, and it touches on a lot of what we just discussed, and not being allowed to sing. And it talks about the different rules that the Abrahamic traditions have for women and women's roles. Another one is that men and women aren't allowed to touch. So I mentioned that, you know, with the mixed dancing, you're not allowed to have dancing together. And in the synagogue, we sit separately as well. So the women sit upstairs or up the back. Downstairs, if you can't, you know, for some reason get upstairs, you can sit up the back, but you have a curtain or some kind of symbolic separation between you and the men, called a mechitza. And this is my way of kind of processing those rules that define what it is to be a woman in the Abrahamic traditions, and also what it was like for me personally as a young Jewish girl. The song is called Eve. The Bible tells me I was made for a man. Now I must do for him everything that I can. I'm gonna surrender to his will. I must submit. I can't make the household decision, 'cause I am unfit. He tells me my place with everlasting grace. The Bible tells me I must be silent. They can't hear my voice. My role has been divided dignified, and I have no other choice. I may not be a teacher of man, I must cover up my shame. These are the laws of the one who in vain I cannot name. He tells me my pain is lasting grace, and my punishment, yeah, wanting to learn is a painful burden from which I may not return. The Bible tells me that I am unclean. I am impure, it cannot touch me. It has nothing to do with where I've been. It is part of who I am. It is because I corrupt man. I was asking for it just by being a woman. He tells me my pain with everlasting grace, and my punishment, wanting to learn is a painful burden from which I may not return. The Bible tells me I was made for it from there, and now I must do everything that I can. I must surrender to His will. I must submit. I can't make the household decisions, 'cause I am unfit. It tells me my place with everlasting grace. Yeah, it tells me my pain with everlasting grace.
Yay.
No, it's interesting.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Go ahead, Morgan.
Okay, so you said earlier that if you had been in a more reformed Judaism, you think that you'd probably be a rabbi. So do you think that because you're raised in such an Orthodox environment, is that what led you to start questioning?
Maybe. I think, yeah, so I was at it's a great question. I think to an extent, absolutely, that is true. I had a not so observant, not as strict level of observance at home. So at home we had this almost reformed lifestyle, and we kept the dietary laws, and we kept the festivals, and we went to synagogue every week, but we would drive to synagogue. Which is, a big no-no in the Orthodox world, that you're supposed to walk. You're not allowed to use electricity for 25 hours a day. So we were right at the bottom of the spectrum of Orthodoxy. But the synagogue had that atmosphere which didn't allow me to participate. So I think, that stopped me from getting involved in a way that I probably would have liked to have been involved. And again, if I'd been in the liberal or reform scenario, then I would have been able to become more involved. Also, another reason why that's true, I think, is because I did have such an acceptance for the biblical account of creation. And, I really took the tenets and beliefs of the religion to heart, because that was the emphasis that, of the influences that I had growing up. So that when I did encounter ideas that contradicted the biblical account of creation, or my worldview and how I understood that the world had come to be, those contrasts made me question in a deeper way than, say, if I was brought up, you know, with a more liberal or reform view that you know, encompassed the scientific worldview, you know, or encompass more of a modern approach to the understanding the way the world has come to be, then probably, you know, those new ideas wouldn't have been as challenging or as confronting. So yeah, I definitely think that the orthodoxy that I was exposed to in my life led me to question more deeply, and because it posed more of a contrast, to start contrasting more of a challenge.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I would do. It's like, you know, oh, you want me to do what? I'm just going to do the opposite now.
Well, I mean, it was pain. Like, I didn't even want to. Like, you know, a lot of people think that they're like, "Oh, you're rebelling." You know, you're just rebelling. It's like I'm not a rebellious person. Like, I guess in some ways, but I really like making people happy, and I don't particularly like confrontation. Like, I find it really hard to hurt people's feelings, and so, you know, it wasn't too, you know, for the sake of rebelling. Like, I really wanted it to be true, and it was really painful and awful to leave those really loved and cherished beliefs in a very loved and cherished relationship that I had. Like, I used to pray every night. I would write songs. I would make up prayers and songs to God. There was this, you know, this person that I spoke to in my head, me, but and
that's what they mean by personal relationship.
I have a very close relationship with myself. I know exactly what I want, what kind of deals I'm gonna make to try and get it. But yeah, like, it was really painful. And like, you know, being 19, 20, or 20, and realizing, oh, when I die, you know, that's it, and I'm never going to see my family again. And you know, the kind of losses, the people that I'd lost in my life up to that point, I'd grieved them, but I'd grieved them in a way where, oh, I'm going to get to see them again, you know, one day. And so then suddenly, all these years later, you're having to re-grieve in a different way, because I understood for the first time that I was never going to see them again. And that, you know, it was just a very scary and confusing rug pulled up from under you, world pulled up from under you time. And I was really glad that I have music and songwriting as a skill already at that point, where I was able to, you know, kind of put my new ideas down and really examine it and assess how I felt, and have this mechanism for self-expression to, you know, really help me to deal with what I was going through. And a lot of the lyrics in my first album, an Atheist album, talks about that and how I deal with it. It's like one of the songs, Afterlife, it's like, from the day you're born, you're going to die. It's not a pleasant thought at all, but the way that I deal with it is to treasure each moment with my surroundings and those who I love, and try and learn, you know, as much as I can. And that was my way of processing it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a much healthier way, I think, than some of the religious alternatives. But
yeah, and I think it makes you value life more too, because, you know, it's just like, there was, you know, in what recently happened in a town I used to live in Mississippi, was a little boy was murdered. And everyone was just like, oh, he's in heaven, he's happy, you know, it's over, and he's much better off now. And I think that if you have that sort of view, you don't exactly value life as much.
Yeah.
You have now, because you get a second chance in the afterlife, as opposed to that's it.
You can understand, like, people wanting to comfort each other at that point, but it's still just like, I don't know, if you don't believe it, it's really hard to stomach that as a comfort. You know, people say that to you when you're grieving. It's really like, fuck off. Like, if you want to tell me that, like, if you want to tell me that, you know, my grandma's in a better place, you can fucking swap with her. Like, you know, you can swap.
Yeah, bring her back. You go on ahead, you know. Yeah. I'm sure she won't mind.
Yeah.
And that always boggles my mind anyway, that, you know, it to me, it's proof that really deep down in there, people don't actually believe that shit. Because if you truly believed that, say, that little boy was, on his way to heaven right now, why would you be upset? Wouldn't you be like, he gets to skip all the hard shit and go straight to Jesus? Like, this is
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then it's just the fact that, his killers probably also believe in God. And because, I mean, they're people in Mississippi, and it's just like, oh, well, I'll just pray to Jesus and it'll be okay.
So all they need
and
to
I'll
do
get to go to heaven too.
is ask for
forgiveness really hard.
Yeah.
That's all they need to do, and then they'll get to go to heaven, and the little boy's in heaven, so it's okay. So I think that there's this idea that I guess our life here on Earth has less value.
Yeah, it's a secondary,
and you don't really think about the finality of it.
It's the prequel, it's the main event.
Well, and it actually, I did some reading about this, and I think it actually prevents people from sort of completing the grieving process, because at the end of the stages of grief is acceptance. Well, how are you going to accept that somebody is gone and not coming back if you think they're going to be waiting for you when you die?
Yeah.
No, you're not going to do that.
I had to grieve all over again when I became an atheist for my mom. I had to go through it all again, because I used to just be like, oh, well, I'll see her again. And that was it. And then it was just like realization of, like Shelley was saying about the rug being pulled out from under you. And it was just like, oh God, what is all this going on here? And I had to just go through it all again. And it was rough, but I think it is a healthier way to move on with that acceptance, rather than just telling yourself, that, oh, well, it's okay.
There's a couple of things that I really I like about the way that the Jewish tradition deals with death, in terms of like the ceremony, and it's like there's this kind of forced acceptance and this forced grieving, so when someone dies, anyone in the immediate family, they sit shiva, it's called, and you have to like sit on low chairs and only wear black and not look in the mirror, and there's not listen to music, and there's like all these kind of rules of what restrictions that you put on yourself in a way that you live during that first 7 days, and then for the first 3 months, and then for the first year. And I can see in some ways how that could be helpful. When something happens like that and you're just at a loss of what to do. And this, again, talking through the context of where this is familiar to me culturally. So maybe if, it was totally unfamiliar, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? I don't know what's going on. But having been brought up around it, I can see certain elements of it that I would find comforting. So, maybe feeling at a loss of what to do, what the hell, what do you do? Well, here are these things that are prescribed for me to do that kind of, can help facilitate the mourning process. And I think that's really interesting. As soon as it becomes prescriptive, that's where the problem is. As soon as it's like, oh, well, you have to do this, and you have to do it for 7 days, even though you've done it for 6 and you're ready to stop. Or you were someone's uncle, not immediate family member, and you would like to grieve for them in that way, but it's not recognized. So I think, I appreciate some of those elements, and I will probably take some into my own life, but yeah, not in a prescriptive way. It's hard. How could they have come without being prescriptive?
Well, and the structure I can see being useful
helping
for people who need that kind of structure, and for somebody who's maybe not experienced a loss before or that sort of thing, that could certainly be beneficial. But like you said, you run into problems when it's, well, it must be 7 days, or you must do this next, and the person's like, well, I don't really need to do that. The first part was helpful, but I think I'm okay now. Or well, that part was okay.
Be guidelines.
Or like, for instance, you're not allowed to listen to music. Well, I might want to do all those other things, but I still want to listen to music or play music, because that's my way of expressing myself. Yeah. And, if there's not room for that, or and then at the same time, when I go to a Jewish funeral, often they still sit separately. So last year my grandmother passed away, and you have to sit on a different side to your partner or your father, or someone that you want to sit next to and hold hands with and grieve with, and you're separate. So I was like so angry. I'm like, why do I have to deal with my rage about this at the same time? I was like, oh.
Do they think that an orgy is gonna break out at the funeral? Like, really?
I want to. How strong is the male sex drive? Like, how strong?
I know. Like,
you're at a funeral, and all you can think are how hot your female relatives are. That's
that makes it even more disturbing.
That's something
so related.
Oh my god.
That's something out of backwater Mississippi, not
Yeah, I know, right?
Synagogue.
And then what would make it a Mississippi funeral is if somebody fires a shotgun in the air.
Oh,
and then it's a Mississippi funeral.
Is they're planning a shotgun wedding with
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then everybody in my family, I mean, I guess we sort of have, it's kind of almost disturbing because what we do in Mississippi is we'll have like a funeral and then everybody like eats fried chicken and all this food. And I'm just like, someone just died. I'm not hungry. Like, let me grieve. And everyone's like trying to stuff fried foods in my face. And I'm just like, leave me alone. Yeah, it's very bizarre. I'm just like, why are we? And my dad was like, it's very strange. I don't know why we do it, but whenever somebody dies, it's like chocolate cake and fried chicken, and but I'm just like, I don't want this right now.
It's like this is my happy place food. That's not.
Yeah,
we don't even do that here. I mean, you go to the funeral, and typically what'll happen is the church ladies will put like sandwiches together in the church basement for like immediately after the funeral, and that's it. Like, if it's somebody who might need assistance coping with the loss of a partner or whatever, a neighbor might bring you food for a day or two.
Yeah, and we do that too. So after a funeral, then other people bring you food continuously, and it's just like, no wonder we're all so obese. It's because we eat when we're sad, or when we're happy, or when we have any emotions. That's all we do is eat fried chicken and food. And yeah, so again, yeah, but I understand like the structure and how that would help, because I'm a person that likes to have a schedule. I'm a person that likes to know what's going on when, but I also don't like to feel like I'm boxed in at the same time.
Yeah.
So I can understand wanting to sort of like pick and choose from those traditions, so you have more of guidelines rather than rules per se.
Yeah.
Now you guys have me picturing some weird ass Jewish Mississippi funeral.
Eating fried chicken while they sit segregated.
With shotguns.
Just throwing the fried chicken over the partition between the chickens. Don't miss out.
Hey, Ethel, it's incoming! Woo!
I think it's true even with like any kind of, not necessarily a religious thing, but any complicated cultural experience, like a wedding or a funeral or a birth. It's like, it would be nice if you could just pick and choose for you, but there's so many people involved and there's so many layers of expectation that, you can't just do what you want to do. I think in a religious or secular context, you're often guided by what the culture, the society, or your family and people around you expect of you. I think secular people go through that too,
Oh, totally. Well, there was one, I guess, death that you sing about that I find actually highly amusing, and that's your salamander.
Oh my God. I was like, who's dead, baby?
No, your salamander. Morgan, do you know about the salamander?
I do not. I have not heard this story.
Okay, cool. So this is a true story. I think everything, pretty much, most things are either true stories. I'm getting better at making stories up. It's hard. People say, oh, how do you write a song? I just tell exactly what happened. Then I can't, I have no you know, I have no responsibility for this creation. I'm just reporting back what happened. But well, whereas to make up a story now, that's really hard. That's a lot of pressure. It's like, this was all my imagination. That's much harder and scarier for me, I think, than just telling the way it is. But I'm trying. But so this is a true story. And I was working at the market selling socks, and opposite my stall there was a live fish stall, and they were selling fish as pets, and they had these salamanders. Do you know axolotls? Yeah, so they're like, you know, the little eels with the arms,
like
and the legs.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, can they regenerate their limbs? I think they can.
Maybe they can.
I think they can. They're pretty amazing. Anyway, they're really cute and ugly at the same time. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy one. And I had a really shit breakup the week before. And I thought, I'm going to get this salamander. I'm going to have a new friend. And I won't be sad anymore. And that'd be a really good distraction. And so I went and I bought the, you know, the whole shebang, the tank and the rocks and the little plastic kettle and there's the downtown noise and the water filter and the water treatment and the worms and the net and the salamander. And I took him home to my family. I was living with them at the time, and I had him in a bag. I said, quick, Mum, Dad, Josh, look what I got. And we opened up the bag, and he was dead. And so I wrote this song about my dead salamander and my ex-boyfriend. And it's called The Salamander Song. I dreamed of you last night, and then my salamander died. I wish that you had died instead. Then maybe I could start to forget, and I would have had a pretty cool pet. But now my salamander's dead. Oh, salamander, if we could only go back to before. 'Cause you won't be eating fish again, and I'm not getting laid anymore. I would have named him after you. You don't seem to have the same shit to do. Just sit around in your room watching your life go to waste. And just like you, he would have been a distraction to pacify me with my own inaction. It feels like all my efforts being misplaced. Oh, salamander, if we could only go back to before. 'Cause you won't be eating fish again, and I'm not getting laid anymore. I wanted to bury him in the park, but I couldn't be fucked waiting for it to get dark. Had to do something soon before the smell settled in. Heard that you weren't there to hold my hand. I guess not everything can go as planned. So I put him in a shoebox and I threw him in the bin. Oh, salamander, if we could only go back to before. 'Cause you've been left out in the trash and no one's putting me against the shower door. Maybe it's not in good taste to tell myself you are both easily replaced. But what else can I do to make myself feel better? Oh, salamander, maybe I should go and buy myself a mouse. Or maybe I should tell my friends that I don't mind if they go and egg your house. crying about losing you. I wish that you had died instead.
I love that. First time I heard that was at ReasonCon.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Before I was sitting in the front with Callie and Celeste, actually, and I'm like, holy shit, I haven't heard that.
That one's good. That's funny.
I gotta ask though, because your logo that I'm wearing on my boobs here is a tattoo that you have, but now is that salamander or no?
No, I got this like 5 years before salamander had this small, very short life. So this is a gecko. I got it when I was traveling, and you can ask me a question. Yeah or yeah? No, I don't know. Geckos are the only lizards that can vocalize, and people say it sounds like they're singing and laughing. I like that. So I just, I put in my logo. And he's always there, because I play time, so
that's cool.
I just included him.
And I was watching on YouTube, and I finally caught the postscript to Salamander, and because you had all the stuff, and you tried another one. And
oh yeah, yeah. Because I had I invested quite a bit of money into maintaining salamanders, so I bought another one, and then he died of a flesh-eating bacteria.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he just kind of disintegrated in my tank. I tried to buy all this stuff to make him better, and you know what it was the pet stores, they don't really, I don't know, they didn't really give me the proper information about how to take care of him. I don't think they really care, or maybe they make more money if you come back and buy more. I don't know. It's pretty rough.
Well, it reminds me of about 4 years ago. I decided to get a beta fish.
Yeah.
The one that's in its little tank by himself, because Siamese fighting fish is the other one they call it. But they're always so beautiful, and I thought, I'd like that. They look so easy. I wouldn't mind, because I've had like goldfish and that kind of shit before when I was a kid, and you got to clean the tank, and you had to get like a snail or something to keep the algae down and all that shit.
Yeah, cool.
Oh yeah, we had freshwater snails. They lived underwater. You're really cool, actually. They go in the glass, and you could see their mouths going on the glass. Awesome. But I got I actually bought a tank that was slightly bigger, because usually it's just like one little bowl and they just kind of sit there. And I want my beta to be able to swim around a little bit, So I got one that was like a little bit bigger, and it had like, not a filter, but like an aerator thing and all that. And I even it had like the sunken ship with like the skull on the front and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lid, because I have a house full of cats. So this had to have like a clip-on, snap-down lid. So I get one, and I mean, they're beautiful fish.
Yeah.
And so, but like I said, I've always had goldfish, and those things are little fucking pigs, right? You put food out, those little buggers will eat it. So I'm like, oh, my fish is hungry, I'll feed it, Yeah, no, you don't do that with a beta, because if it doesn't eat the food, apparently the proteins get in the water, and it like overfeeds anyway. So one died, and I'm like, I don't know what happened here, but it wasn't that expensive, so I went and got another one. And then it started to get sick, and I was thinking, ooh, this isn't good. So I went and I actually went back to the pet store, and they're, oh no, you're overfeeding it, and you gotta, take it out of that water and give it fresh, and blah blah blah. I was like, okay, well, it didn't live, so I'm like, okay, but I know what I've done. I know what my problem is.
Yeah.
I'll get one more. So got one more. We'll get this. The tank, I had like a corner desk with my computer, and it had like the hutch where the monitor would be underneath. So it was like right up in front, because I wanted to be able to look at my fish while I was surfing, and because it was so pretty. And I'm looking, I'd had it a few days, and I was trying really hard to, like, I was probably starving it at that point because I wasn't, giving it nearly as much food as before. And I was kind of looking, and I'm like, I don't see the fish. And I'm like, shit, don't tell me it's dead in there. And because there's like the sunken ship that had like a tunnel in the middle, because I looked all around, and I'm like, I don't see the damn fish. And I'm like, it's gone belly up inside that damn sunken
castle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Like rotting up inside. I was like, oh. So I'm like, Ario, oh sweetie. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's dead in there. Can you take care of it for me? So he's like, okay. So he takes it down into the basement and everything. And he's like, there's no fish in there. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, there's no guts. There's no carcass. There's nothing in there. I'm like, where the fuck did the fish go? the only opening was like this tiny little, like, maybe half a centimeter slot that you could get, like, air could get in, and you could like pour some water. And I'm like, there's no damn way the cat's got in there because the lid's still on. So to this day, I have no idea what happened to the third damn fish. And at that point, I was like, fuck that. No more fish. Nope.
That's so weird.
It got raptured.
It got raptured.
I should have called him Jesus.
Oh my god.
So when I heard that part on the one video where you said you got another salamander and it died too, I'm like, oh, it's Shades the beta fish. Oh shit, that's awesome. But that's cool. I like your gecko. He's like nodding and playing along. That's fun. I kind of want, because I'm like, no, because the logo doesn't have the things on the head. So I'm like, no, I don't think that's a salamander.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna have those little things.
That's it.
Well, did he look anything like this? Was that the sort of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
He was the color of the one that you've got here.
Oh, cool.
So that they've got different colors.
Right.
He was like this one. It's kind of see-through pinky.
And it's funny. He actually looks like he's got a little smiley face.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Aww. Well, he's in salamander heaven now. Oh shit!
Along with the raptured betas.
We have to do a song about that. The fish that got raptured.
So bizarre.
It's the weirdest. Like I said, I had fish for many years as a kid.
Yeah.
Just never anything that I guess quote exotic. But I mean, fucking goldfish, they're diving. Oh, you know what? For all I know, maybe I was killing my goldfish off every day, and my mother was just putting a new one in. That is possible, I suppose. I'm gonna have to ask her that now. Oh, geez.
Do you have any pets, Robin?
I have a hedgehog.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
What's his name?
Yeah. Peter Quill, and then my boyfriend, we have a hedgehog named Obi-Wan Quilnoby. And yeah, Quilnoby's still a baby. He's a more friendly one. Peter's a grumpy diva, but I love them both the same. Peter's definitely larger because he's fat, because like I said, he's a diva and a drama queen. But yeah, Quilnoby's just kind of more rambunctious and active, and will get in places he's not supposed to be and things like that. But I like them. And when I was younger, I had fish, and I was known as like getting these fish that my dad expected to live like maybe a few months or something. But then I remember I had these fish, and they would not die. It was like they were like 7 years old.
Yeah,
by the time like they died, and my dad was like, "What the hell? Like those fish look sketchy as fuck."
Yeah. You're like, look, I'm just a responsible pet owner. Like,
I had a set of goldfish. I had 2 goldfish, and they called them Blackmores, the ones with the big googly eyes. I had those. Yeah. And 2 goldfish, and I had those buggers for like 6 years, and they didn't die until we moved when I was like 10 years old. I think I got them when I was like 4 years old, and and they died like when I was like 10 or 11 ish, and then
that's
like
a good run.
Yeah, they got to be big orange fuckers too. Well, except for the Blackmores. It's weird. Oh, when I was in university, this girl across the hall from me, she had a beta, and somebody put booze in the water, and it turned white. She managed to get it out before it actually died, and the thing, because it was like whatever bright color, and it turned white, and it was never colored again.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I remember that now. Things that happen in university residence. Oh shit! So you do a lot of traveling, so you probably don't have pets at the moment.
That's it. Yeah, I would really like to have rats. Like I love rats.
I love ratties.
They're so cute. I used to keep ratties. I really had 2, and I've had them separately, like one at a time. Yeah. Like I really had them come everywhere with me. You know, when I had them, just kind of live on my shoulder, and getting my handouts with my friends. And yeah, I really miss keeping rats. Although it's really hard because they do have very short lifespans. Like all of your fish have outlived my rats. Like,
yeah,
they only live, especially like 1 year in the wild, and then anywhere from 1 to 7. But I've only met one person that's had a rat for 7 years. Everyone else, it's like 2, 3 years.
Yeah, when I had them, I did a lot of reading and joined the rat group online and all of that. And this was like 3 years. Yeah. Like, if a rat goes further than 3 years, it's ancient.
Yeah, and that's too hard. Like, especially when you come everywhere with me, like all day, every day, and then. So yeah, it was too hard. So I would like to have them again, but I'd probably maybe not have that same relationship. But okay, so my dream is to be a crazy old rat lady. And as you said, I'm away. I go away all the time. I can't do this. This is not going to be till I'm like really much older. But I want to have like see-through piping all along my roof, and like with a couple of stations at the doors where they can come down. So I want them to be able to like live on the roof, in the house on the roof. And have their own world up there, but also be able to see you and you can see them. And then whenever they want to come hang out, they can just like crawl down and jump on you.
Like a giant habit trail. Awesome. I used to build all kinds of stuff for mine, like the plastic tubing for clothes dryer.
Oh, yeah.
Hang that across the cage, and they'd use it like a little tunnel, and they'd sleep in it. And I used to buy there's a dog toy that it's like a big rope in a circle with like a piece of nylon in the middle, so it's sort of like a frisbee.
Yeah,
but those make excellent rat hammocks. You just clip one end, and they love lounging around in there. And I would put like a toilet roll holder and like a whole roll of toilet paper in there, and they could just shred it up all they wanted. It was awesome.
Yeah, my hedgie likes the toilet paper rolls, but he likes to stick his head in them, is what they'll do. And they don't get into paper or anything because they're actually not rodents.
Right.
They're insectivores, so so they don't need to like chew on stuff. But mine does like to get like little rodent toys. Likes to play with cat toys. He runs on a wheel just like a hamster does. All that stuff, but they're nocturnal, so he gets very, very grumpy when I wake him up in the day. But yeah, they like tunnels and things like that, and super cute.
Yeah. How big do they get?
It depends. I've seen one that actually it was ginormous. It was like that big. But that was because she had a disorder where she had to get her ovaries, she had to get a hysterectomy. And so that's why she got so large, is because she didn't exercise as much and just wasn't as active. But she was just a happy little hedgehog. But it was, yeah, I think her name's Regina the Hedgehog. You can look it up. I mean, she was a ginormous hedgehog. I mean, she was like the size of a porcupine.
Yeah.
But they usually, Cool Nobby's about like that big. He's pretty small. He's still a baby though. He'll be 1 in July.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just enjoying being a baby hedgehog right now.
The people listening on the podcast will totally get that big.
Yeah, they're pretty. It depends. You can get some that are bigger, some that are smaller. Like I said, Peter's a little bit too fat, but we're working on it. Because I'm just like, you cannot have a heart attack. You're a hedgehog, not a person. Stop this.
Like hard to hold if they're covered in spiny quills.
Their underbelly is soft. So what they'll do is when they're scared, they'll spike them up. Or when they're frightened, or if you disturb them, they don't have very good eyesight, so they can't have things like the hammocks or different level cages or things like that, because they'll fall down and can get hurt. But yeah, so mine will freak out a little bit, but if you when they calm down, they'll lay their quills down, and some will even let you pet their lay down quills, like Cool Nobby will. Peter, that is a no-no. You do not touch his quills. Ever. You do not touch his quills. You can touch his belly, and you can give him little scritches, as I call them, under his chin. But he likes his neck scritches. But yeah, it just depends. But they'll lay them down eventually. Some it takes longer.
They're really, really cute, but I'm a fuzzy kind of like, I get my cat and I just want to rub her on my face. Like, yeah, I'm like, I would be in trouble if I woke up in the middle of the night with a hedgehog. Oh shit. Hey Morgan, you there was a song or two you wanted to hear too, wasn't there?
Yes, I liked your Dear God cover. I think it's I don't remember who originally sings it. I think it's NXS.
I'm not sure. Do you mean the XTC song Dear God?
Yes, that one.
I don't know that one, actually. I haven't done that one.
You haven't? I thought that you did a cover of something.
Maybe the Tim Minchin song, of the Christmas song. That's the only cover.
It might be that one. I'm terrible at song titles.
I actually don't know how to play that one, because in the cover I get my other guitarist to do that one. So I haven't done that one on my own before. Sorry, I'm sorry. We can play it though. Like, I can send you the.
Yeah, maybe we can figure out where she heard it, and
yeah, and I can figure it out. Yeah, I'm terrible with song titles. I'm just like, it's the one that goes like this, and they're like, no, not that. What is that?
Well, you know what's become my favorite song of yours is Sidelines.
Oh yeah.
I asked for that at the wedding. But I just the thought process behind it, I think, is so important today, and the message is something I think a lot of people need to hear.
Thanks, Deb. I wrote this song after I had a romantic liaison, and the person I was with wanted me to change the way that I looked for them, and like obviously they can get fucked, but it was still like
they did sort of, but
yeah, like it was just, it was an interesting experience. Like, I think you don't have to be attracted to everybody. Obviously, everyone has, you know, different tastes, and you know, and different qualities and looks that they're attracted to, and that's perfectly fine. Like, I don't expect everyone in the world to be attracted to me, but if you're not attracted to someone, why would you try and sleep with them? Why would you, you know, try to engage with them in that way if you don't? I don't understand. Anyway, so I, you know, that's why I say that a person can fuck off. Not because they're not attracted to me, but because, you know, I don't think that being with someone with the expectation of changing them is right or fair. Or
no.
So, you know, there was that side of things. But the other side was just, you know, kind of thinking about aesthetics and the fact that, you know, we are all, we are mostly, you know, very visual species, and people like to say when it comes to, you know, discussions of body image that it doesn't matter how you look, and it's what's inside that counts. And like, you know, that really resonates strongly with me, and I wish that was true. Try and make that true in my life as much as possible, but it's I just think that it's not true, because the way that you look will profoundly impact your outcomes, and the extent to which you subscribe to society's expectations of, you know, how you're supposed to look, fear, you know, on so many different levels, or the extent to which you reject those expectations, if you're even able to move within them at all, you know, that's going to really influence where you know, your outcomes in life in so many areas. And so this was like a moment for me to kind of really, through the lens of this particular situation, understand that more broadly. And yeah, maybe question if it's something we can ever overcome. I was talking to my friends about it. It's like, maybe one day when we're cyborgs, you know, how will we pick who's attractive and not attractive?
Yeah.
We're all made of robots. Anyway, just a futuristic question. So this is my song about that I wrote after that experience, and it's called Sideline. You want a skinny lover, you want a skinny lover, so I find I have the wrong body, I have the wrong body, even though I have the right mind. You want a skinny lover, you want a skinny lover, and it's perfectly fine. But it means you will always want some other body more than you want mine, more than you want mine. This is familiar, it's who we've become, slaves to aesthetic. This is the true that we are. Can we change who we are? Can we remove the filter from over our hearts? If you're not beautiful, you be sidelined. Can we let go of our pride, of how we look on the outside? Anyways, I thought love was supposed to be blind, be blind. You want a skinny lover. You want a skinny lover. So I find I have the wrong body, even though I am the perfect kind. This is familiar, it's who we've become. Slaves to aesthetic, this is the tune that we hum. Can we change who we are? Can we remove the filter from over our hearts? If you're not beautiful, you'll be sidelined. Can we let go of our pride, of how we look on the outside? Anyways, I thought love was supposed to be blind, be blind. For the first time in my life, I wish I was somebody else. All those bottles of teenage self-consciousness and tumbling down from the shelf. But this is familiar, it's who we've become. Slaves to aesthetic, this is the tune. This is the tune that we hum. Can we change who we are? Can we remove the filter from over our hearts? If you're not beautiful, you'll be sidelined. Can we let go of our pride, of how we look on the outside? Anyways, I thought love was supposed to be blind, be blind. Be blind.
Yay. Love that song. So you get to do lots of traveling. So what's your favorite place you've been so far?
I don't know. That's really hard. I really, and also, you know, so much depends on the people that you meet when you
True.
go there. So, I don't know. I really
Just thinking
I
of
like it. Sorry.
the country or place itself. Let's assume all the people are awesome all the time. Just like as far as something to experience, someplace to be.
I really liked Romania. I thought Romania was really cool. I think, you know, people don't really, like, it's not really a high, like a high tourist destination. People don't think about it, but it's actually like the coolest place ever. Because there's not the millions of tourists, and then they have like some of the best castles in Europe, and they have, like, you can go to the Black Sea, they have beach and water, and also mountains and great snow fields. I like the snow as we went through.
The Carpathians are gorgeous, are they not?
And yeah, it was really, really cool place.
What did you like go through a lot of it, or what part did you?
I was just in Brasov and
you went to Brasov. I worked in Brasov for a month.
Are you serious? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. That town has like more pubs per square mile.
Yes,
than anywhere I've been in my life.
Fucking Republici Street, man. Like, you just like go to Centru and you're like, poof, I can be drunk for a month.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Did they have the stuffed bear sitting outside the pub when you were there?
No, I don't remember this.
It was like off of Republici. There's like this little side street, and there was a pub down there, and they had this like taxidermied bear sitting in a big chair that they put out in the alley to like attract customers.
No, I don't remember. But yeah, I love it there.
I was gonna say I absolutely fell in love with Romania.
It's so beautiful. And Sinaia, we went up to Sinaia as well.
I didn't get there, but I went to Sighișoara.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Did you go to Biserica Negra? The big church? If you ever go back, that giant church in the town.
Wait, is that, and you mean in Brasov?
Yeah.
Just in the square. Oh, yeah, I went there.
Wasn't that thing? Oops. What, did you get to hear the organ at all or no? If you ever go back, twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they do a pipe organ concert it's only for like 40 minutes, but it's well worth it. It's amazing. That's so cool, you know, Brasov.
That's so cool that you went there. Yeah.
I actually did because you were busy in Reason Rally or not, but I have a tattoo, if you can see it. That's Bran Castle.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, it's pretty fuzzy.
Yeah, I can't really twist my arm up at the. My arm don't bend that way.
Not either. That's like this.
But yeah, that's Bran Castle, and I actually had that done at a tattoo parlor on Republici Street.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We went to Rashnov, which is one town over. And you probably remember Brasov has like the Hollywood sign.
Yeah, it's so cute. So it's like these really tiny Romanian towns, but they have their names written in the, big signs of their names in the mountains and the hills and like the Hollywood side. It's so cute. It's really nice.
And they light up Brasov at night. It's really cute. And we went to, when I went to Braun, the lady I was there, I was with somebody I was working with, and we got into this Mini Cooper, and we went to Braun and we saw the castle. It's supposed to be Dracula's castle and all of that. And then she took me up into the Carpathians to see this, she called it an ancient church, but it's like a grotto thing dug out of the mountain in sandstone. And apparently it was some kind of religious worship thing, centuries ago. And then, of course, as per usual, the Christians appropriated it, and it's got Jesus shit all over it now. But but it's like this hole in the mountain. But we're driving up through the mountains in this little Mini Cooper, and I mean the roads are so terrible that she's driving like a fucking crazy woman, and these potholes were so big it looked like they were gonna like swallow the Mini Cooper. She's like trying to get around. It was so fun though to go in. Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, they drive insane over there. I've noticed. I've never been to Romania, but I've been to Europe, and I mean, especially in like Paris, it was like people would just like turn around in the middle of a freaking street, and I was like, "What's going on? Like, where are your police?" But yeah, Europe was absolutely insane. Yeah, I did find another song though that I really like of Shelley's. So, and I made sure it is the right song title. And yeah, I think I was thinking about the War on Christmas song cover, but for some reason I confused that with the Dear God song. I don't know. All of the songs I'm just the worst. I'm so scatterbrained today because it's Saturday. Usually I'm like, okay, it's Saturday. My brain can be turned off today. And
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, brain, no, stop.
We'll call it student syndrome for now.
Yeah, it really is. It really is student syndrome. And yeah. But
let's see. I think Shelley got it for a second there.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so I guess Beth isn't coming.
I don't know. He, according to Facebook, hasn't been online in 7 hours, so I'm
asleep.
Asleep, or now remember she was having trouble with internet, and Saturdays might be a busy day, so could be that. Oh, she's taking a bio break. That's okay. She asked if it was okay. I should have said no.
She said no. I was just like, go for it. I didn't want to never sit there and be like, ah.
That's okay. So Where do you think the craziest drivers are that you saw at Paris?
Well, I think Paris, but then also London, because they all honk all the time, and I'm just like, no one's going anywhere.
Well,
Like, why are you honking?
In London, everyone's backwards. But
Yeah.
actually, everyone's backwards in Australia too. You know, it's funny. It wasn't until a few months ago where a friend of mine showed me, got me into watching an Australian crime drama. It's been off the air for a few years now. It was called City Homicide. And I got watching that and I really went, holy shit, Australia is so much more English than we are.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell the influence that we have from America because you guys are way British. Which
like in what ways? What way?
The terminology, like you use a lot of British slang where people, I do because I grew up watching British comedies, but most people in Canada don't use British slang, they use American slang.
Like what's British slang?
Like things like Lou and of course now that I need an example.
Lou.
And then calling chips.
Lou.
What is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, crisps. Same thing.
Crisps.
Crisps and.
But we don't say crisps.
No.
No, we say chips. We just say chips.
Okay.
But I remember when, like, I was saying, but it's not a slang. It was like, I said, "Oh, you're gonna call the fire brigade?" And it was like,
right.
Fire brigade. Yes.
They're like the brigade. No one's calling the brigade. I was like, it's not such a funny word. And then
actually,
I thought about it.
It sounds so formal.
Yes, we must inform the brigade.
No one says brigade over here. So that would be a good example.
Yeah, but it's not slang. It's like a real, like, you know,
right.
I don't use it that often. Thankfully.
So maybe slang wasn't the best term, but the vocabulary is much more British.
Yes, and then your lawyers are still called, I think, barristers over there, or
yeah.
Yes, so we call them barristers over in Australia and England.
Yeah. Well, Morgan remembered a song that she wanted to hear now.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe in fairies. I think that's one of my favorites.
Cool. Yeah.
I love that one. I told Morgan, I said, oh, she needed a bio break. I should have said no. See what you said. It's like, no, you need to pretend you're the salamander and stick it out.
I have to regrow my bladder.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is I don't believe in fairies. I don't believe in fairies. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in vampires hungry for our throats. I don't believe in demons or witches that can fly. I don't believe in dragons. I think they're all alive. So when I'm in the dark, I'm not afraid. Not afraid of creations, imaginations have made. I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe in soup. I don't believe in Allah. I think they I don't believe in Adam. I don't believe in Eve. I don't believe in talking snakes. I think they're make believe. So when I'm in the dark, I'm not afraid. Not afraid of creations, imaginations have made. I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in hell. I don't believe that we are children who need to fear to behave well. I don't believe in salvation. I don't believe in sin. I don't believe it will be easy, but I believe that reason can win. So when I'm in the dark, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of creations, imaginations have made. When I'm in the dark place, dark place, I know it's only me and what I feel.
I like that song a lot because growing up, Southern Baptist, I was taught so much to be afraid of hell and demons. I remember it terrified me even up until my teenage years. I would be like, oh, there might be a demon under my bed. And yeah, fucks you up.
Yeah.
So, we don't have like devil in Judaism or hell, which is really, I'm really glad. I think most with Judaism I had, I think there are some that do believe with hell and stuff like that, but we didn't have that. But I still believed in ghosts, and we still be scared of these imaginations. And it's so nice when you realize I don't have to be scared of that anymore.
I didn't have to be scared of the rapture or any of that.
It's just me. Like, there's enough shit to be scared of without having to worry about all that other stuff.
Like people with guns or something. Like, forget about this shit you can't see.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, here's a fun fact you'll find amusing, Shelley. I was a ghost hunter for a while.
Are you serious? Oh my god!
Yep, she was.
Tell us about that.
Even when you were an atheist, right?
Yes, I was an atheist ghost hunter.
Oh my god!
And we had, you would laugh, we had the 800 number. We had like the advertising magnets on our cars, and we would get a call and go to someone's house and all of that shit.
Like a lot? How many houses did you go to?
Oh, in 4 years, probably about 10 or so.
Yeah, wow.
And then we would try to go to like known historical properties. We actually did pretty good getting into places. Like there's an old Victorian hotel in the next town to me that it's huge, and it's up against this old sulfur spring. And back in the day, they used the thing was, the sulfur spring was good for you. It stinks like shit, but yeah, it's pretty nasty. But it's been like empty as long, like I moved to this area in 1990 and it's been empty long before that. And it's like 5 stories tall and just enormous. And the very first investigation I got to go on was in that hotel on Halloween. And we like by permission. And it's like, it's the kind of place, like we were there with, you know, the full permission of the owner, being escorted by the caretaker in the middle of the day just to get an idea we were going to be at night. And we weren't in there 20 minutes and somebody called the cops on us. Like, that's how often that place got broken into, but we were there legitimately. So
and did the police come and did you have to explain that you were? Well,
the caretaker was still with us, thankfully. Okay. So they were like, and
imagine if they were like, we are ghost hunters. That's why we are here.
Well, we were. That's exactly.
And they'd be like, oh, well, that's fine.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. We're like, well, we're legitimate ghost hunters, and we like got permission, and well, that's fine.
Oh, you would have loved it down here if you were a ghost hunter, because we have so many like old Civil War mansions and like creepy stories, and like there's people who say like the whole state's cursed and all this crazy shit.
Well, that may be true. I don't know.
We might be cursed with angry ghosts, and so yeah, people.
We even one year there at one point there was like 10 of us in the group, and one year we actually spent collectively as a group $1,000 and drove to Louisville, Kentucky, and went to this place called the Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Yeah,
and spent the night there.
What is it?
It's the old crazy place, right?
No, tuberculosis hospital. Yeah, and it's massive. Like if you Google it, like the picture will blow your mind. It's like
you were not a ghost hunter, you were a ghost buster.
Oh yeah, that's how it kind of ended up. Because, I mean, we had some pretty primo equipment. And honestly, like when we were talking about death and losing people and that, what got me kind of, well, maybe we could find some scientific evidence here, was because I wanted to maybe find a way that I could, you know, connect with my dad again someday. Even though I lost him as an atheist, and I had been an atheist for several years, and you know, I never ever believed in like this soul bullshit or any of that. I'm thinking, well, maybe there's a scientific explanation for these unexplained things that has to do with, you know, dead people, because I wanted it to be that way. Yeah. And after 4 years of digging around in dirty, smelly, musty basements and things and all of that, and really, if you were honest with yourself, finding absolutely nothing, then it was kind of like, you know, I think I need to give this up.
Yeah.
But I thought you'd find that interesting.
Yeah, really. And then what was the point where?
Waverly Hills actually was a turning point for the whole group, because we invested a lot of time and money and equipment, and even the believers, the true believers among the group, got nothing. And this is supposed to be one of the most haunted places in all of North America. Yeah. And it was absolutely nothing. And we were there. We were the only group there. The only other person with us was the caretaker, who stays to make sure you don't destroy shit. But it was just us. And absolutely nothing happened. And like every ghost show on television has been to that place. And you know,
do they all just make it up and like start screaming whenever they hear a bump in the night, or is it like fake?
Oh, it's all fake. It's totally fake. It's totally fake. Like, for instance, I used to love, it was a British show called Most Haunted, and that's what kind of got me into it. This is long before any of the American shows. And they even were there. And I was talking to the caretaker guy, and I was like, oh, you know, what are they like? And he's like, oh, yeah, they make it seem like they're here for, you know, one night, but they come, you know, for days in a row and shoot all this footage. And, you know, it's nothing like you think. And what's always bothered me, I mean, we had almost zero budget. Like, we only had budget for what our little old pitiful jobs could do. And most of us worked for the same call center, so we all made about the same. I think there was like, out of the 10 people in the group, I think 7 at one, either at that time or had previously worked at the same call center. So you know, we all had, you know, crappy low paying jobs. But these shows that had these enormous budgets, right? So let's say they would do something called table tipping. So it's like a seance, and they're trying to get the table to jump up and down, you know, just by touching it. And so, you know, that's the goal of the evening. And you're trying to catch proof that this table is levitating on its own, and there's no fucking camera under the table. Like, how does that not occur to you to put a fucking camera under the table? Hell, on your budget, put 6 under the table, you know, catch all the angles. But everything would always be in a way that, you know, if you were really wanting to believe it, you could talk yourself into it pretty easily. But if you were objective about the information they're presenting you, it had holes in all the right places to be faked. So, yeah. After Waverly Hills and nothing happened, we all got back. And I even, like I was talking about Most Haunted, one of the group of Most Haunted had crawled, there's a morgue, and they crawled in the morgue drawer in the freezer. And apparently some nasty old lady ghost went and scratched him on the back. So I was like, oh, that's epic. Like, that's something, you know, I go in, I have no scratch. I come out, I have a scratch. I can't reach myself, you know, like, that's something you can kind of. So I crawled in the morgue drawer. Oh. And yeah.
It's pretty brave, like, believing that that's a possibility, you know?
Yeah.
Knowing that you could, believing that you could be attacked by
that apparently there's this horrible, nasty old woman floating around in there. But no, it was just kind of cold, and the plywood board they had down was a bit stiff, and yeah, it was kind of boring.
So how do you think he got the scratch?
Oh, I'm sure they faked it. Because it's TV, all you have to do, because if everybody's in collusion, all you have to do is stop shooting, and then, like, okay, somebody, like, you know, take a sterile something and scrape them down the back, and voila, we have fresh scratches. You know, if everybody is in collusion to do that, it's really easy to fake that stuff. You just have to believe that the other people are not in collusion or trying to do that. And I don't anymore. So, but yeah, and actually the group actually completely dissolved after that trip.
So, they all quit believing in ghosts?
No, we found out that the founder was embezzling money from the group.
Oh,
yeah, because we used to, get this, you'll love this, in order, because if somebody needed our help to bust a ghost, we didn't charge, you know, because we thought that was mean. So to earn money on weekends, there was a psychic fair that would come to town every, like, long weekend, and we would have a booth at the psychic fair, and we actually produced videos of our investigations like a TV show. And because the founder also went to film school, and so we did that. and we sold lots of DVDs. We were the most popular booth at the psychic fair because everybody fucking loves ghost hunters. And so we made okay money doing that, like enough to pay for some equipment and, spend money to travel a little bit and that sort of, that's how we earned money to go to Kentucky in the first place. But then we started to be like, why don't we have any money for anything ever? And we found out that was why. And also the same guy, he'd been dating another member, like they were living together and they broke up. And so that sort of didn't help either.
Can we see these videos like if they're available online?
Remind me at the end of the show and I will hunt some down. I think I have a couple on my machine right now.
Oh my god. I want to see.
I want to see you running around chasing a ghost.
Oh, you will, and night vision and the whole 9 yards.
Oh wow. Yeah, you're such a champion.
I thought it was fun, but
if you believe something, go full blast at it until you realize it's not true, and then you
exactly. Like I was all in, man. Digging around in dirty old basements and people's attics and shit, and then there was a couple posh places that we got to like sit and chill, and we're always sitting in the dark doing nothing, but.
See, when I believed in that stuff, I ran away from it. I was so scared. Like, if I went somewhere haunted, I would never voluntarily get into a drawer in a morgue. I think I still wouldn't do that because I still think it's creepy on some level. But
right,
I don't know. My grandmother's very superstitious. She's from Cajun country over in Louisiana, and they're just a very superstitious people. Yes. So she believes in ghosts. She thinks one pushed her downstairs at her house, and all kinds of like crazy shit. She's like, there's a handprint on my back and all this nonsense. But so I was always terrified of ghosts and things like that, and I thought that if I went around ghost hunting, I'd get into something I wasn't supposed to, and like some demon come and drag me to hell or some crazy shit. So I was the opposite of you. I was like, no, fuck no.
See, and that's because I think on remember how I said like Christians don't really, if they really honest, don't believe in heaven because they get sad when there's a funeral. It's like I couldn't really deep down believe that shit because whenever we had people in the group that felt that they were psychic and they could feel stuff, and whenever they were like, I have a terrible feeling about that room, I'm like, give me a flashlight, going in. I was like, I'm going, let's find it. Where is it?
Yeah.
Because I didn't think that I didn't think it was what they thought it was. Like, they're like, oh, it's a demon, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it's, something playing on your mind somehow, and I'm going to go in and shine a light and nothing's going to happen. And generally that's what would happen because, I even met somebody who claimed that they were possessed by a demon at the time. They were like rolling around on the ground and shaking and stuff. And I was like, should we get you a doctor maybe? And they're like, it's a demon. Yeah,
that shit scared me when I was a kid. I was so scared like that. And there's people down here that believe demons cause everything. Like, if you have diabetes, it's sugar demons. If your TV is broken, it's demons. If you have, I'm not even fucking kidding.
I know.
Sugar demons. That's very, polytheistic.
I know, it is. It's very polytheistic. And also, they almost sound adorable. Like, oh, little sugar demon.
Sugar demon gave me diabetes, not like all the sugar. Like, why is it need to be a demon?
It's a demon. It's the demon.
I have fucking diabetes. What does this demon want with giving me all this extra sugar? Like,
well, if you get rid of a demon, then you get rid of the diabetes, is what they think.
And then it's so crazy because it makes you feel like there's something you're not doing right.
Yeah, it does. And they do that especially with like mental illness and then like epilepsy. I remember one time everyone freaked out because my preacher was preaching about the devil. This is when I was like maybe 13. And this woman started having a seizure. And I remember it just freaked me the hell out. And I remember my dad was just telling me, oh, that happens. You know, she probably has epilepsy, trying to be rational about it. But he's the religious one and I'm not now. So that's kind of funny looking back. But, you know, and yeah, but it just freaked everybody out. And then when I went to that crazy school I went to, there was rumors that my dorm that I stayed in was like haunted, and there was a girl there that had been demon possessed, but really she just had like untreated, like serious mental problems. And yes, but they were just like, oh, it's demons. That's why she's like. And they were even saying like crazy shit there. I remember all the girls would tell me, oh yeah, she crawled on top of the ceiling. And I was like, what the fuck? That did not happen. Like, even though I believe in demons, I was like, that did not happen. And that's when I started like, I guess coming out of it, because the stories got more and more and more ridiculous. And then it just seemed like, you know, when I came out of religion, it was just like, okay, this is all stupid, you know, because even when I was a Christian, I was like, it's dumb to think demons cause literally everything. And then I was like, well, maybe there aren't any demons.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That's just, yeah. And to think, you know, every little funny sound or everything that you don't understand as a ghost or that kind of crap is just like, yeah, no.
And exhausting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of these people that we would talk to, they'd be like, oh, you know, I haven't slept in weeks and this and that. And I'm just like, why would you let it do that to you? Like, really? And half the time, really, honestly, my first thought was, you know, you need to go see a doctor. That was my first thought, but you know, the other people in the group were like, "Oh, well, we'll have a seance and we'll find."
Or there's a carbon monoxide leak in your house or something, making you see shit.
Well,
or,
we did have a scientist with us, and we had the EMF detectors and the whole.
Had a scientist. I have to watch these videos. It's like badass.
Crazy ass scientist.
I will dig them up for you, man. But by the time we dissolved, I was the one doing all the narrating on the videos too. So yeah. Well, we're getting near the end of the show, and I had a song I wanted to hear before we go, and it's one that I don't think a lot of people have heard because you played it at Bobby and Ashley's wedding, and it just made me laugh so much. And I think you know which one I mean.
I do. Hang on. I'll just grab my paper. I'll be back.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, being in somebody's basement and having them tell you that they have demons, you know, under the water heater or some shit.
Oh yeah, y'all would have loved it down here because we got those like creepy Civil War houses and everything, and like they're all haunted by like dead Confederate soldiers, and they all have like these weird romantic stories attached to them and these big tragedies, and yeah, it's just nutty.
Yep. Well, we went. You familiar with the War of 1812, right? Well,
yes.
There's Niagara Falls. I'm very close to Niagara Falls, and there's a cemetery by Niagara Falls that there was like a huge battle from the War of 1812. Actually ended in 1814, if anybody wants to know. So, but yeah, we went there. My camera's all funny, and some of the people in the group believe that they were seeing all these British soldiers and marching around, and I'm just like, why does everybody see shit that I never see? Like, what am I missing? How do I see this? Anyway.
You need to have a more vivid imagination.
Yeah, apparently so. So Shelley's gonna sing me a song that is also a true story, like she said, most of hers are, she said. This is a love story, right?
Now I didn't believe in love at first glance. But we haven't only just met, taken off our pants. Have not felt this way before, what a surprise. Can tell that he is not like any of the other guys. My heart belongs to the internet chat room working boy. Just watching him play with himself, you can tell he's the real McCoy. My heart beats only for the internet chat room working man. I know that he feels the same, cause he lets me pay on an installment plan. Now he has some rules that you cannot pass. Does not matter how much you pay, he won't put things in his ass. And I have asked him to marry me, but he is a career man, he won't give it up for free. My heart belongs to the internet chat room working boy. Just watching him play with himself, you can tell he's a real McCoy. My heart beats only for the internet chat room working man. I know that he feels the same, cause he lets me pay on an installment plan. My friends tell me that we are doomed to fail. How can he ever be mine when his loving is for sale? My friends tell me I deserve so much more, but no one does it for me like we're online. My heart belongs to the internet chat room working boy. Just watching him play with himself, yeah, it brings me so much joy. My heart beats only for the internet chat room working man. If you wanna see him go to the bathroom for an extra few bucks, you can.
Love it. You hadn't heard that before, had you, Morgan?
No, I haven't heard this one.
Yeah, she just surprised us at the end of the wedding performance in Georgia last fall, and
That's amazing.
it was great. I have a video of it, and it's actually, the sound is pretty good on it, except that I interrupt it I'm snickering to myself through the whole thing. I'm like, damn it, I have to figure out how to edit that out. Oh shit. Well, Shelley, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. There's so much
Thanks for having me.
Fun.
Yeah. I know it's a little earlier out there in the East Coast and all. We didn't hear where's the ice cream truck? We missed it.
No, it's been good. Oh, it's Saturday. So.
Oh, maybe it's on like weekend hours. Damn it. I was gonna be like, oh, it's the ice cream truck. Now I want ice cream. Oh well. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and please tell everyone how to become your patron and get access to all your wonderful music.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me, guys, and thanks for the awesome chat. And my latest way of distributing my music is through Patreon. And for $1 a month, you can get all of my solo back catalog, so like all my digital releases, and like new music that I put up every 2 weeks. I'm actually gonna put one up later today, and that is on patreon.com/Shelley Segal.
And that's what sold me, man, because we were hanging out at ReasonCon, and I actually bought a couple of CDs, which is fine, I don't mind. But then we got talking about this Patreon thing. I'm like, well, damn, that's a hell of a better value. So I did. And now I have this big Shelley Segal playlist on my phone.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I can listen to you in the bath with the bubbles and all that. Yay! Well, and before we go, Morgan, where do we find you?
All right. Well, you can find me on the Bi Skeptical podcast with Trav Mamone about every 2 weeks. We have our last episode has been posted up. It's called There's No Crying in Fascism. So check that out on Spreaker, iTunes, wherever you find your podcasts. And you can also find me on Twitter at MoString and on Facebook, Morgan L. Stringer.
Yay!
And sorry, what was it on Twitter? I'm going to fill you in.
The Twitter at MoString, MoString.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, with your, I have to say, with your accent, it almost sounds like no string, and I know at least one.
No.
Whoever no string is, got tagged by it instead of you at least once. I know of.
They're probably so confused.
I switched because when I got notification of the tweet, I switched the Twitter in it before I replied because I was like, "Whoa, that's not right."
Yeah, it's Mo as in Morgan.
Yes. Maybe they thought you were just no strings attached. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Maybe. Okay, that makes sense.
No strings. Oh yeah.
So, me, of course, I should be popping up on Holy Crap, the Vlogcast later this evening, usually hosted by Shujin Tribble. He is away at a wedding somewhere in New England, I think. I forget. And he wants me to run things. So that looks like I have to come up with a topic in the next, 8 hours-ish. So if anybody got any suggestions, no. But yeah, Holy Crap the Vlogcast, you can find that at holycrapthevlogcast.com and on the YouTube channel, and that happens at 12:05 a.m. technically tomorrow morning or tonight, however you want to do that. And we will, of course, be here. We're not going to be doing, I'm going to probably release this later, like maybe tomorrow evening or something ahead of Monday completely, but this Monday we aren't doing a live show. This is our Monday show. Shelley has a gig on Monday, so or she's got to be somewhere, so we're not gonna quibble. We'll take her where we can get her. The following week, though, and that's May 29th, we're excited because it's more Mormon Mania. Bryce Blake-Nagel is going to come back and hang out with us. I think that'll put us even with the Scientology shows now. And he's going to tell us all about his historical trip through New York and places like Palmyra and the Hill Cumorah and all of those fantastic historical places that Joseph Smith, turned into crap, basically. No, they're beautiful places, but that's where he did all of his machinations and whatnot. So Bryce is going to come and tell us all about his awesome trip. And yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. We haven't talked to Bryce on the show for a while, so it'll be awesome. So that's on the 29th. That'll be our next live show at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, as always. And to close out the show, as we usually do, and Shelley, this takes about 2 minutes, our friend Dave Foda and his Human Creed for Mankind, and we'll see everyone next week.
I know the truth and power of reason and of rational thinking, and I will use them to my advantage. I know the truth and power of educating myself and of expanding my intellectual boundaries, and I will educate myself. I know the truth and power of vanquishing ignorance, and I will do so whenever the opportunity presents itself. I know the truth and power of morality without supervision, and of true and accurate righteousness. I know the truth and power of obliterating tyranny, be it intellectual, emotional, or philosophical, and will work toward that goal whenever and however possible. I know the truth and power of human ingenuity. I know the truth and power of human compassion, and I will be mindful of the welfare of others. I know the truth and power of equality and fairness for all living things. I know the truth and power of the importance of our families, our friends, and our fellow men and women. I know the truth and power of human stewardship of our lands, our waters, and our skies, and I will try to act to preserve our environment. I know the truth and power of the sciences of mathematics, of physics, and of chemistry, and of the important role of these disciplines in understanding the workings of this cosmos. I know the truth and power of the rejection of all notions or beliefs that reside in the supernatural or the superstitious, and of those notions or beliefs that we are not supposed to be able to explain. And I know that these rejections are necessary for humankind's survival. I am a human being with a free mind, liberated from irrational influence and from unreasonable dogma.